I think it's time to start, Chad. You do your thing and then we'll get
Okay.
going.
Well, I was just going to say I was kind of distracted by everything going on yesterday, so I wasn't able to create a brand new video for our opening tonight. But so tonight's a rerun, but maybe it'll help elevate the mood a little bit. So here we go.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. 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 We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Take care.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Okay, wonderful again, Chad. So on behalf of Tova, Chad, and myself, I just want to acknowledge these trying times. Yesterday was a day that we usually coordinate our material and prepare for the class, but none of us felt much like doing anything with all that was going on. And today it really wasn't much better. We can only hope that our great democracy can withstand the many challenges it faces, that morality, as described in the book of that title by the late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, will transform our nation from an I-centered society back to a we-centered society, one in which we care about the welfare of all and together build community based on universal truths. As usual, I want to thank our producer, Chad Cohn, for his dedication and coordination and all his hard work. So welcome back to the B'nai Yeshurun Zoom cooking class. Tonight, we will be demonstrating some appetizers. In the next 3 weeks, we will be doing some classes on salads, soups, and then special recipes for Tu B'Shvat. This evening, Tova Cohn and I will be making simple 3-ingredient rumaki, revisited microwave potato chips, vegetarian pate, mushroom rolls, and cheese quickies. And now a word about appetizers in general from Tova.
Thanks, Murray. Virtually all cultures have indulged in pre-meal morsels designed to whet the appetite. The French picked at hors d'oeuvres throughout fancy meals from the late 17th through the mid-19th century. Hors d'oeuvres translates to outside the meal. In the 19th century, we evolved to the successive multi-course meal structure we see today. By the late 19th century, hors d'oeuvres became a separate course after soup was served. The term appetizer appeared nearly simultaneously in America and England in the 1860s as the English equivalent for the French hors d'oeuvres.
Okay. My turn, right?
Yep, your turn.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's begin. So about 40 years, I've been organizing and catering dinners for up to about 300 people at the synagogue. And many of these were prime rib dinners featuring various appetizers. The favorite appetizers, hands down, was always the simple 3-ingredient Rumaki. Now, I found this recipe initially on the Beth Am Sisterhood Cookbook. This is it. 284 pages, published in 1987. And I found it kind of interesting that the women who edited it identified themselves as, say, Mrs. A. Bernard Peters, instead of Helen Peters, who was a wonderful woman I knew. And I guess times they have changed a little bit. But on page 13 is Rumaki. So let me move down and we're gonna prepare live the Rumaki. Very simple, very simple. The only problem with it is when we have it at a dinner, it's very labor intensive. So we need a lot of them because people stuff like 6 of them in their mouth at one time. We take a water chestnut, cut it in half. Okay, and then all we do is take a piece of pastrami that we have obtained at the butcher shop, Romanian pastrami, cut into strips like this. We take a toothpick, put it through just till we kind of feel it on the other side. We just feel the little point there. Okay, we'll do that again in case someone was blinking. All right, we just take this, roll it up, and put the toothpick through. Okay, so that's just 2 of those. All right, then we take, in this instance, an 8x8 pan. We take some brown sugar and just sort of sprinkle it on the bottom of the pan here. And then we take the Rumaki and put it in. Now I made some other Rumaki in advance, so I'm gonna put those in also. And that's about it. Then we take some more of the, usually we like them kind of touching. So we'll take a little bit more of the brown sugar, put it on. And then we'll pop this in the oven at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes and keep an eye on it a little bit, and that's it. So, any questions? Great, okay. So we're gonna move on, as I put in the oven, we'll move on to the potato chips. Now, we'll explain it, but I found a little easier way of doing those. So I wanted to share that with you because it was a pretty popular item way back on our first class. Okay, Chad?
I are always or constantly experimenting with our recipes. So it's no great surprise that after
Can't see it,
making
Chad.
microwave potato chips for over 25 years that I altered.
You just got me now. So the Rumaki's still sitting here and it's gonna go in the oven in a moment. And it's good to put it in at room temperature. That's something I didn't mention, but I'm just thinking of something to say. And if you like water chestnuts, you can just eat them like that. They're very good. And they look a little bit like jicama.
Recipes. So it's no great surprise that after making microwave potato chips for over 25 years that I
Volume
altered
stop.
my method slightly to make the production a little quicker and easier. Since my original class on this snack was fairly well received and many of you tried it, I thought I would share my new little innovations that will help make it a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. Basically, I have eliminated using a plate in the microwave and now use parchment paper. So here's what I do. I take 2 sheets of parchment paper and lay them over the microwave plate and then cut them to fit over the plate. Then I take my potato and slice it on my 1mm Cuisinart blade and begin to place it on the microwave plate covered with the parchment. Then we fill the entire plate with the potato chips, noting that they're not overlapping. And also note that we did not spray the parchment paper as we did with the plate in the previous instructions for making the potato chips. We now do spray them though, a little bit, so we can put on some seasoning very lightly, and then we're ready to put this in the microwave. We place this in the microwave for 5 minutes on the highest setting, and while this starts to cook, then we can fill our second round parchment paper with the potato chips. After 5 minutes, the chips begin to brown just a little bit, so we're going to put them in for another 30 seconds. This is after the additional 30 seconds. I think it needs to go a little bit longer. And just a little longer yet, but I'm going to take the one chip out of the center, which seems to be getting done. And here we are, our final products. We'll just now take out the parchment paper. Kind of hard to do with one hand. With 2 hands it's easier. And this is how it looks outside the microwave, all ready to go, put in the bowl. And in the meantime, we could take the second parchment paper that had the potatoes on it, ready to go, and put them in while we put these in the bowl. And here they are.
Okay. All right, so yeah, I said, the 2 parchment papers, one, so you can like interchange them while the one is cooling just a little bit, but it's just cut down on my time on making it, and it was just a little bit easier and no hot plate. Yes, a question from Lynn, I see. Can't hear you.
You like that better, right? The question was, I remember the original recipe was you made air fryer potato chips, wasn't that it? Am I mistaken?
No, they
No?
were microwave.
Oh, they were okay, my brain is.
I know a good memory doctor in Florida, so if you
Yeah,
want.
but I can't remember
I'll
which
put it in the
side he's
chat.
on. He or she is on, okay,
Okay.
I got you. Wipe that question off the slate, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, so they came out good, and I don't know if you noticed, I got a new microwave too, because last time when I did it, there's like paint chipping out from the inside of the microwave, and so Mary looked it up and it said like, don't ever use that, you're gonna
Again.
die. So she made me throw it away. It worked perfectly well. I was very upset, but you know, she had the information on the internet. Of course, a lot of the information you get is not always right, but I guess this one was. Okay, so Tova, you want to take it away?
But the bonus is now your new microwave cooks the potato chips even faster.
Very fast. Yes, I got a stronger one.
So
Yes.
those potato chips are wonderful and addicting. Okay, so we move on. We move on to pate, which is a French dish. The word pate means paste in French. French chef Jean-Joseph Claus is credited with creating and popularizing pate de foie gras, made from duck or goose liver in 1779. Jewish pate, of course, is chopped liver. It goes back to medieval Germany, where Ashkenazi Jews made it from goose liver. Eventually, Eastern European Jews began using chicken and beef livers, and the recipes were brought to the United States with immigrants in the late 1800s. It was traditionally served as a side dish. So the phrase, "What am I, chopped liver?" expresses the feeling of being overlooked like a side dish. So we've come a long way, and for many, vegetarian is more desirable. So you can call this dish faux gras, you can call it mock chopped liver, but I call it vegetarian pate.
We're going to make vegetarian pate, which basically is a 4-ingredient appetizer that I've been making for probably over 30 years, and people tend to like it. I always get asked for the recipe, so I'm sharing it with you. We're going to start. I like to brown my nuts in the toaster oven. I've got my toaster oven at 325. It's heated up, and I've got a tray covered with foil with my pecans on it. So I'm going to put those in. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. Nuts burn quickly. So, and you can start, once you start smelling them in particular, keep an eye on them because it means they're browning. So we've got those there. Now we're going to, I've got my 4 eggs in water, bringing that to a boil to make my hard-boiled eggs. And I've got my non-stick frying pan here, which I'm going to add a little bit of oil to, and I use vegetable oil for this. Not much oil. And to this, we're going to add our sliced onion. And you want to use a large onion. I had some leftover onion, actually probably from my latkes in the refrigerator. I added it. The more onion, the better, without going overboard, because the onions are going to make your pate kind of sweet. So we're going to go between medium and low, and I'm going to cover this, and we're going to let it caramelize. We're going to let them brown. And it's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm going to check it periodically and stir it, and when they are golden and caramelized, that'll be enough for that. So my eggs have come to a boil. What I do is I turn it down to medium and I set my timer for 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, they'll be hard boiled. I've got my can of French style green beans ready. I've drained the liquid from them. You can use regular green beans, but after all, this is pate. So I like using the French style green beans for that. So they're ready and waiting. It's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, the onions are starting to change color. They're getting a little golden, and my eggs are hard boiling, or boiling, not quite hard yet. So I keep stirring this. If you get a little burn on the onions, just turn your heat down and keep stirring. Unlike garlic, it will not affect the taste of your dish. It will, because the sugar caramelizes. So just turn the heat down if it seems to be browning too much, and turn it up if it's not browning enough. So I would say another 10-15 minutes will be done. My timer's gone off for the eggs. I've turned it to low, and I'm taking one egg out at a time with a slotted spoon, and I'm going to take it over to the sink and peel it. I found doing it this way makes the peel come off pretty easily without damaging the eggs. Now that's not a big deal in this case because the eggs are going in the Cuisinart, but for Passover, this is a bit of a trick, so you might want to try it. Voila! I have my roasted pecans, and I'm going to grind them in my food processor. That's pretty good. Yeah, I might do just a little more. There's still some big pieces, but it'll get ground again with all the other ingredients, but I'm going to grind it just a little more. Perfect. We've processed our pecans in the processor by themselves, and they're ground pretty finely, but they're not a paste, and they'll grind more as we process it with the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to throw in the hard-boiled eggs. If you don't want to eat as many yolks, you can throw a couple of the yolks away. I'm going to add my green beans, and I don't dump the can into it. I use a fork to get it out, to get the French cut green beans out, because there's often a little bit of liquid, even though I've drained it, on the bottom, and I don't want that liquid in the pate. Okay. And we're going to add our onions. And I'm going to just put a little bit of salt. I don't really season it very much beyond that. And a little bit of pepper. If you want to add other or more salt and pepper, or a little cayenne to make it spicy, it's up to you. This is all I add. Periodically, I push down the ingredients, and you can see there's like a little bit of the ground nuts in the corner of the bowl. So I try and get that mixed in. And we're going to process some more. You cannot over process it. Okay, and that's about it. So I'm going to put this in a bowl. I could serve it from, right away if I wanted to. It's a little looser, but it's perfectly fine. But generally, I put it in a bowl and then I cover it with plastic and chill it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it. And it can stay in the refrigerator well over a week. So we'll come back later and I'll show you exactly how I serve this. And this is how I like to serve it, on a platter with vegetables. I have a little bit of rice crackers, and it's all set to go. Bon appetit.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, there was, somebody sent me a question. But it says, does it make any difference if the hard-boiled eggs are warm or cold? I didn't ask it.
You know what? I kind of let the eggs and the onion cool. They don't have to be cold, but you can do it when everything's hot. I just let it cool because then it's easier. It'll cool down quicker for you to refrigerate. So, okay. So Murray, are your things ready?
What's that?
Are your appetizers ready?
Yeah, the Rumaki's done here. And you saw, there it is. Okay, so if anybody wants one, you gotta come over soon because I'll probably eat them all. So you know how it is. And they look good, smell delicious, and you're only allowed to eat beef so much, so we'll have it today and
Can
not
we
worry
use-
about it.
Can we use walnuts instead?
You can use walnuts instead. I think the pecans have a sweeter taste, and I just like using the walnuts there. But you can, I like using the pecans. You can use walnuts if you prefer. I prefer using pecans.
Murray, where do you get the Romanian pastrami?
Well, I get it at Tibor's.
Okay.
You ask them to slice them for you for, Rumaki. They should know. Most of the people there know.
Okay. Thank
Okay? No problem. And, some people, I think, they put a little chicken liver in this too. They could do that. So whatever. Okay. So, wow. That pate was something else. I happened to get a taste of it. It was really, really good. So, it looks like good enough to eat, I think. Okay. So we're going to go on and move on to the mushroom rolls. Okay. Now, we're going from meat to vegetarian, and now we're going to dairy. So, want to roll the whatever here.
Mushroom roll appetizer. This recipe I got from Mary, who got it from her mom, and they've been using it in the family for probably over 60 years. When Mary's mom, Audrey Rothbarth, was putting together a charity cookbook, she came up with this recipe, and it's been in their family ever since. First, you take 4 ounces of mushrooms, which I weighed out on my scale here. It can be white mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, or any combination thereof. Today we have some white mushrooms with some baby bella mushrooms that we're going to use. We then are going to trim them and wash them. So here are the mushrooms after they've been cleaned and washed and chopped up into small pieces. Then we're going to take them into the pan where the butter has been melted, the 2 tablespoons of butter, and put them in. Okay, and then we're going to saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes at a medium to medium-high flame. Then we're going to remove this from the heat and add the flour. And incorporate that all in. Then on medium heat, we're going to add the half and half or light cream. And stir it in as it begins to thicken. So after about 6 minutes or so, you can see that the mixture is thickening up quite a bit, and that's good. We'll cut off the heat, and we're going to add then the lemon juice and the chives. Now the chives are not chives that you think of. These are garlic chives. That's because I happen to grow garlic chives in my plant room with some other herbs. And so it's kind of hard to get a hold of chives this time of year, so I'm using the garlic chives. And I personally prefer the garlic to the onion chives anyways. So now we're going to just set this aside and allow it to cool. And on to the next step. We're going to take an ordinary piece of white bread, cut off the crusts, and we'll take the crust, and save them for later. Maybe we can make some croutons so we don't have big waste. And then we're going to take this piece of bread without the crust and take a rolling pin and roll it out, just to flatten it up. So we roll it this way and this way, and we end up with a nice thin piece. We're going to do this for about 10 pieces of bread. And for efficiency, you can always cut more than one piece of bread at a time to remove the crusts. Okay, now that I've rolled out all my little bread and the filling material has cooled, and I just take some of this and spread it out on the bread thinly, sort of like this. And then I'm going to roll this and place it on the cookie sheet with the seam side down. Now, when we were making in the synagogue kitchen some little hot dogs, pigs in a blanket, it always said to put the seam side down, and one of our devoted workers and kitchen helpers, Lynn Danzig, created the song Seam Side Down, to the tune of Seam Shalom. And it's become a kitchen standard now. And we never forget to put the seam side down then. roll another one, as you can see. Put it in with the seam side down. Okay, I'm going to do the rest. Rolled out with the seam side down. If you notice, we have not 10 but 11. So when I got done with the filling, I had enough for another piece of bread, so I just went ahead and prepared it and made the last one. Before I butter these up, I just want to tell you that don't forget to add I didn't show you, but don't forget to add the salt and pepper and taste it a little bit to make sure it's something that you'll like. So when we add the butter, I just melted about a half a tablespoon of butter. I'm just gonna brush them up and then place them in the 400-degree oven. May need a little more butter here, but we're pretty good. Okay, we're all set to go, and we'll wait about 15 minutes and see how they look. And here they are as they come out of the oven. We'll let them cool a little bit, slice them in half, and they'll be ready to serve. Our final product, an appetizing appetizer.
Okay, hello, where am I?
You're,
Oh, I'm not showing up here, whatever. There we go. Okay, so does anybody have any questions?
There's one in the chat.
Okay, what is it? You could read it.
Can you suggest a substitute for the cream or half and half?
Sure. You could use, they have vegan stuff that would suffice. They have vegan half and half and stuff like that, which is not so fattening. So,
they also have
I mean,
parve.
and they have parve, yeah. You may try some of the parve stuff, I guess. And two, you can use other kinds of bread as long as it's soft and you can roll it out. I remember as a kid, the white bread when I was a kid, I used to take it and roll it into a big little ball, it was like a lot of fun, I used to get in trouble for that, but what can you do? One thing also I want to mention, my daughter, Steph and Pam, bought me for, I think Hanukkah or my birthday or something, a mushroom growing kit. So now I've been growing my own mushrooms and it's amazing. They double in size in a day. You haven't seen anything like it, but it's really cool. So I'm really into mushrooms. These kind, not the other kind.
Another few days and you can use them as an umbrella.
Maybe. Okay. So, but these things are really, really good, and they're not so dietetic, but they're very delicious, and people like them a lot. Okay, so next we're going to go to Tova and her cheese quickies.
All right, so we're going to finish up with this. It's also a dairy recipe, and like Murray's recipe, it goes back about 40 years. Okay,
I got one question for you. There aren't any brown nuts in the cheese quickies, are there? Forget it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I get you.
We're going to make the cheese quickies, an easy appetizer, and we're going to start by adding a little bit of vegetable oil, just a little bit, to my frying pan, and we're going to add our minced onion, and we're going to cook this until the onions are golden, which is going to take, oh, because it's minced, it doesn't take that long. About 10-15 minutes. So we'll give it a little stir. I've got it on low, and I think I'm going to leave it on low. But I'm going to cover it and let that cook. In the meantime, I have my mayonnaise in this bowl, and to the mayonnaise I'm going to add, I'm using this shredded Mexican blend, and I have the right amount left in here, so I'm just going to add this. This is from Costco, but it's a big bag. You can just get a smaller bag of shredded cheese. I like a mixture, and we're just going to mix this up, and then we're going to wait until the onions are golden, and we're going to let them cool a little bit before we add it to the mayonnaise mixture. I've got my onions golden and cooled, and just keep an eye. When they're minced, they burn faster, and if they seem too dry, add a little water, but it takes about 10-15 minutes, and I cover, uncover, go between low and medium, mostly low. But now I'm going to add this to the mayonnaise and cheese mixture. And I've decided I'm going to add some chopped artichoke hearts just to spruce this up a little bit. And now all I'm going to do is stir this so that everything's combined, and then we're going to spread it on our cocktail bread. We'll come back. Okay, so this is how it looks once everything's combined. I'm using these cocktail ryes. This is Jewish rye, and then I've decided to use pumpernickel too. They have these in the bread section and Heinen's at the grocery store. I've got 16 of the cocktail breads here, the pumpernickel and the rye, and I'm going to put about a teaspoon of filling on each one. They're crispy and hot and bubbly, and I'm just going to put them on my platter. Okay, cheese quickies.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Pretty self-explanatory.
Wow, so that was great. Those were quick. E.
Hence the name.
Yeah, I guess so. So just to let you know, a few things that are coming up. After us is the canner's class at 8 o'clock. And as we were food for your belly, he'll give you food for your soul. And you need both of it, so tune in. Chad may put at the link in the chat if you can, Chad. I know we give you challenges every moment, and you usually fulfill them. And if not, you have to deal with Tova. We have, the men's club's doing a lot of great things. They have the usual 5 o'clock meeting next Tuesday with Rabbi Weiss will be there, and I think, I heard he's going to give some rabbinical secrets, so you'd want to tune in for that. There's the virtual bus trip to New York from the Men's Club and Sisterhood, and that begins Sunday, January 24th. You can sign up online. They're going to New York, and they've really researched it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And just, there's tons of stuff going on at the synagogue. It's great. Next week, we are going to be doing salads. We don't have all the recipes down pat yet, but we have, we know that, of course, Faith was going to do her famous kale salad, and we're going to do a Caesar salad with Mary's dressing.
Dressing.
What's that? Vegan
Vegan
dressing.
dressing.
Yeah, but you never know it's vegan. I can't believe it's vegan, in fact.
Just
It's wonderful, and we serve it all the time at the synagogue. What dressing are you going to be, or salad are you going to be
well, my
doing?
salad is from the Columbia restaurant. It's called 1905, but it's sort of like the old pewter mug salad or Cafe 56 salad. So that's what it is.
Murray, somebody asked,
Oh,
what's the mushroom growing kit that you have? What's the name of that?
You know, I don't know, but I can find out and let you know. But it's like, it was like great. I mean, it started out with these little teeny things, and oh, that's not so bad. And it took a week or two to get going. And then I go the next day, and they're bigger, and you got to start picking them, and it's amazing. It was a lot of fun, and you have fresh mushrooms, and they taste great. So if you like mushrooms, you'll enjoy it. In fact, just send me $80, and I'll send you a kit or something like that. Okay, all proceeds go to the synagogue, of course. All right, I guess that's about it. Anybody have any other questions? I saw someone put in the chat something about the kreplach and dim sum, and that's great. There's just so many things. We can't mention everything, but we're just glad to be a part of it, and we're glad to be back for a little bit. And so we look forward to cooking with you again. And that's about it. Anything you want to say? And I enjoyed the music backgrounds, Chad. Very nice.
I just want to say thank you, Murray, and this is Mrs. Chad Cohen saying good night.
And that's Mr. Tova Cohen in the back.
That's right.
That's true. That's true. And just stay safe. And, let's hope we all get through this crazy time, because it's very unsettling for all of us. Okay.
All right.
Be well.
Good night.